when people will ask, like with the Blu-ray even picture, how can we move the glasses on the head? Well, I hope you have the skills to be able to research, because there is no way. Good luck. Is not an answer I want to give to anyone. I never want to have to post something and have someone ask something from my pictures that isn't able to be done just because I showed something off that they don't have. If I am to show something off that someone else doesn't have, it would usually be a texture edit or something like that. Something that would be very easily possible if you had the resources to do it, which are usually sometimes very, very difficult, especially since I have Photoshop, and I've tried looking into solutions for textures for Paint.net and GIMP, but I do not have as much experience with those programs, and they're much different. So it's like if I can't get them to listen, then I want to do it. But I don't have the experience. There are no tutorials on this stuff on YouTube. The stuff Vision told me in regards to the gear before he became extremely unclear and told someone else that I was annoying, that stuff is nowhere. No one is saying how to apply this thing to a model from something else. I've seen a number of videos where only a few people are going to get this. Only this one person will also get this name, but Essie Rani Raxtaq. That's what I call it. That's what I call it. I remember you saying once that you said it to see how many interpretations of it you have. I don't really care. I mean, everyone knows that it is. You were messing around with some others, and I have seen. Yeah. I really don't care. You call me a stalker, whatever. I'm not trying to look into your personal life. God. You were just someone I looked up to. Once. I saw a whole bunch of videos where it was definitely you, because we've had calls together in the past, very, very infrequently. I know it was you. And you were just like giggling with this one thing that you had to yourself, and you have all these features in this thing where you can just dance around and stuff and act stupid. And again, as I've said before, jovial humor is perfectly fine to like. But as I've said before, I'm not like that. But yet, am I or anyone else who is like me not entitled to these things just because you like that? And not the rest of us? The rest of is being a bit generous there. I know an immense amount of detail about this game, probably more than I should be allowed to know. I know about the lyrics, I know about the colors, I know about the models and the path structure for this game. I usually know what model is usually what, and what type. I have a very, very basic knowledge of porting models, maps. I know a lot about the story, the interactions, and all this is intermingled with my own fanon. And it's like, this should have been public before, this character stuff. I mean, it's already on DeviantArt, so why the hell am I keeping it to myself on a channel where basically nobody is seeing it? I only have this other channel so then I can post stuff there that doesn't just randomly pop up in here and people ask, why, what the hell? What's this? This doesn't matter. It's still the same me. I'm only one person. But see, I was in that group a while the group was balanced, but then once those meme depressive people took over, I felt like I was being controlled, manipulated. Not, like, again, I voluntarily dumped the updates, but I felt controlled because when I dumped this stuff, it was pointless. They were hoarding it. They only linked it to a few specific places. Other people then did the work of spreading it elsewhere, and it just spread like a virus, but not the work that came out of it? No, that's not anywhere. And of what there is, some of it isn't exactly desirable. I wouldn't want to use some of that stuff. And of what's coming, I don't want to use it. A long time ago, if you ask me, like 2 years ago maybe, I would have probably said, yes, no doubt, I will use this thing. But that was while I was with User. That was while User was still around. User left this community because he grew up. This thing is just for children. Even though that's a stupid argument and I hate it. This thing is just for children. It's so jovial and happy and so stupid. Why should you like it the way you like it, he said to me. It's the community's fault that you like this so much. And no, it's not the community's fault. It's mine. If Splatoon hadn't existed, I wouldn't even know anything about modeling or textures or the like. Anything. Very, very, very minute things, such as 3D has polygons in it, and you move models on the X, Y, and Z axis, and you can extrude and stuff. Very, very basic stuff. Nothing like what I'm doing now. There aren't a whole lot of games that can attest to that. User left, and so then I became scared. Whoever makes these collision models for the new models will probably make them worse, and I'll have to go through the whole situation again. Maybe they won't respond to feedback, and they'll just call it dumb and move on. And then news got even more worse. These things are being ignored. These things that you once told this one person that they really, really knew, that were really, really important, that they needed to know, they're not happening. They're not happening at all, because this guy's just sitting around laughing and jerking off. And then my mind went to the place where they're doing it because you're not like them. They're doing it because you're not like them and doing it in a place where you're not there. So then you can feel bad about it. Because man, aren't your stories dumb? I don't like living in a world where the moment anything is remotely serious, it has to be given the word edgy now. That cringe has to result in these videos that are meaningless and shallow. And again, if you like that stuff, that's great. I don't want to take your joys away from you. But every joy has been taken from me. The Sonic series became so juvenile that I just don't want to watch it anymore. Other series have become either so nonsensical or shallow that I just don't want to care about them. There's mentalities going around which actively dispel any sort of serious discussion about anything sometimes. So heck me, right? If I want that to change. At least on my end a little bit. I don't have the skills to be able to make these things myself. These things that are happening on the grapevine that I'm hearing of. I'm saying from the grapevine because I don't want to make it extremely obvious to randoms. Because a lot of people probably know exactly what I'm talking about, and I don't care. I left that group for a reason. I'm not going to come back if you're just going to do the exact things I was sick of. I'm proving a point here. These people are losing, losing as a present tense word was relevant in 2018. They've lost motivation. These people have lost motivation. And they can't listen to anyone. Not even the people who want to be passionate like myself. When I explained to this guy that I was passionate, no response. No response to that. And when there was, why don't you let this person control you? Why don't you let this deprecating humor that I really apparently enjoy indulging in, why don't you let it take over you? Well, guess what? I don't want to be pessimistic all the time. If I want to find something I can enjoy, I'm going to fight for that. Simple as that. And you want to know the even sadder part of that? This person who was saying that is younger than me. Age isn't a factor in this thing at all. The other person's older, but this person was younger. Younger than me, and saying this. You need to be meme depressive already. I needed to be meme depressive from the moment I was 8 to 9 years old or something. Hell, maybe even earlier according to these people. That's the only way I can gain respect amongst these people. And I just find that horrible. Because then they make things like what I'm hearing. Where it's just complete and utter ignorance. Completely, no matter what. And even though I'll explain these things, it's just, why do you care? I care so much because other people don't. And I'm probably repeating myself a lot here, but other people don't. I can't find entertainment in what other people are doing anymore. So I don't want to chastise them. It's not their fault they like that stuff. Maybe it is, but why force them to change then? They've watched a million other cartoons and have found them masterpieces of work. I just find some of those same cartoons boring. And this other person that I've mentioned, the awesome person, they've been trying, but these people are stingy. They don't want anything happening to what they're currently doing, even though it's bad, even though it's extremely bad, and they don't want to listen to anyone to make it better. They don't want anyone touching their things. Even though a couple years ago, I asked for this thing, and I managed to receive it. Not anymore. That's not happening anymore. Especially given I asked about the Squid Sisters for Fission's End, and he was like, nah, well, no, he didn't even say anything. He never gave them. He never said anything. Just nothing. Purely nothing. And that's why I'm scared. Because I don't want to be like them. I've made up my mind from the moment I was a child. I don't like these things. And nothing's going to change that. So allow yourselves, but I don't want to live in a world of pessimism. Pessimism is boring. That's not cool. I'd rather live in a world where I can at least find some enjoyment in something. And I do find enjoyment in porting these things, the things that I can port. But of other things, I can't do them. So yeah, I just don't want to hang that group around that group anymore. Because I'm proving a point to them. I will not hang around you if you are not exactly fair. What is the point? Could barely get past kindergarten with those rules. And the main reason I'm making this video is like, I want to make that loud and clear. Some people will expect me to make content for those things, but I will not make content for something that is horrible. That is honestly horrible. That I'm gonna eventually feel excluded from because these people just won't listen to these things. Where I am going to have to get told by them, oh, how can I do this thing? Good luck, because we're not creating that answer. We're not going to give you that answer. We're not going to give anyone the answer. Just look yourself alone. See how well that goes. And that's what you all are going to get told as well by them. I wish I could tell them. I wish I could tell them those reasons, but as if they'd listen. So here's the truth right here, to everyone. If at least someone can listen, that's good enough, right? Maybe then I can enact the change I want. Instead of hoping in silence that things will change on their own. Instead of calling everyone stupid for just doing so. It's not everyone's fault. It's only a few select loud people. And then other people take it personally. Shouldn't try to exclude anybody. What if there is another person like me out there? Someone who I've never met who has made similar stories like this, who is also unaccepting of juvenile humor. I shouldn't exclude them. I was silent too. A lot of people probably don't even know that my involvement in the community goes back to at least 2015, but that's because most of the time I've just stayed purely quiet and out of everyone else's conversations. What if there is someone else like me out there who feels the same way? They're getting excluded too. And they're also going to receive these same answers from these people. And no matter who, to anyone. That isn't good. At all. And I want that to change. And I will fight for that change. Just as I have with all the things I mentioned in the beginning. Maybe then they'll listen.